Picture this, it's not one of those glossy postcard mornings with the Chicago skyline sparkling like it's trying to sell you a condo. Nope, this morning's real. It's cloudy, it's noisy, and it smells vaguely of coffee, car exhaust, and hope. And somewhere on the 4th floor of an apartment building with questionable plumbing and a fire escape that doubles as a pigeon hangout, lives a woman named Lena Brooks. Lena's not a hero, she's not an influencer, she's not even fully awake yet. But today, my friends, she's about to learn the sacred art of treating yourself after a small win. And trust me, in this city, small wins are a currency stronger than Bitcoin. The apartment hummed with the familiar chaos of city life. A train screeched past on the elevated tracks outside her window. Somewhere below, a man was already shouting into his Bluetooth headset about a client who didn't understand synergy. The smell of burnt toast floated up from the floor below, which meant her downstairs neighbor, Mr. Diaz, was attempting breakfast again. Lena sat cross-legged on her couch, laptop balanced on her knees, hair pulled into a bun that could best be described as strategic chaos. Her living room was a perfect snapshot of urban survival, one struggling snake plant on the windowsill, a half-assembled IKEA bookshelf standing proudly lopsided, and a coffee table covered in sticky notes that said things like, "You got this, kinda," and one email at a time. She was a junior graphic designer at a mid-size marketing firm. Translation, she made other people's ideas look better than they actually were. Her boss, the eternally peppy Marissa with 2 S's, had a habit of calling at ungodly hours with phrases like, "just a tiny tweak," or "can we add a little sparkle?" Today, Lena had one goal: finish the pitch deck for a local coffee brand's rebranding campaign. Simple in theory, torture in practice. She'd been revising the same slide for 3 days straight, arguing with herself over fonts like it was a moral dilemma. Helvetica, too safe. Futura, too loud. Garamond, too English professor with elbow patches. As her cursor hovered over yet another shade of beige, her phone buzzed. A message from Marissa. "Morning, Lena. Remember, deck due by 10 a.m. Can't wait to see your magic sparkles." Lena groaned. Magic required sleep, which she hadn't had. The city rumbled beneath her as she took a sip of coffee from her chipped, world's okayest designer mug. She opened her laptop and muttered, "Okay, let's do this." The voiceover chuckled. "Now here's the thing about small wins, they don't announce themselves with trumpets or confetti. They sneak up on you, hiding inside moments you almost overlook. Like finally fixing the alignment on a stubborn PowerPoint slide. Or finding a parking spot within a 2-block radius of your apartment. Or getting through a morning without your Wi-Fi dropping during a Zoom call. Small wins are life's secret handshake, the quiet acknowledgement that you're trying. Hours blurred together like train cars on the red line. Lena typed, deleted, adjusted kerning, and adjusted again. The city outside moved on without her, horns honking, buses sighing, the lake wind whispering through the cracks of her old window frame. At 9:52 a.m., after one last sip of lukewarm coffee and an existential stare at her reflection in the laptop screen, she hit send. The email whooshed off into the digital void. Silence. She stared. Did she actually finish? Lena blinked. Then, slowly, a smile crept across her face. She had done it. She actually finished on time. No fireworks, no parade, just the steady hum of her refrigerator and a notification saying, "Marissa, got it. This looks amazing, Lena. You're a star, glowing star." The narrator chimed in, and just like that, victory. Not the kind you brag about on social media, but the kind that tastes like relief. The kind that says, you didn't quit today. And that, my friends, is worth celebrating. Lena leaned back on her couch and exhaled. Her shoulders slumped like she'd just completed a marathon she didn't know she was running. For a full 60 seconds, she did nothing but breathe. Then she looked around her apartment, the unwashed dishes, the unopened mail, the pile of laundry that had started auditioning for Mountain status, and thought, I deserve something good. Cue the music. The narrator grinned. Here's where the story turns. Because every city has its monsters, rent hikes, late trains, overpriced oat milk, but today's not about fighting monsters. Today's about treating yourself. And trust me, that's a battle of its own. The afternoon sunlight filtered through the blinds, painting thin golden stripes across Lena's cluttered apartment. The air buzzed with energy, the kind of electric post-win euphoria that makes you want to dance in your kitchen for no reason. Lena grabbed her phone, opened her bank app, and sighed in mild despair. Her budget wasn't exactly celebration-friendly. Okay, she muttered. No spa days, no fancy rooftop brunches. But her eyes drifted to the corner of her desk, to a crumpled flyer from Velvet Bean Café, her favorite local coffee shop 3 blocks away. She hadn't gone in weeks. Too busy, too tired, too responsible. But today, she had earned it. Coffee's on me, she said to no one, slipping into jeans and a faded denim jacket. The narrator chuckled. And there it is, folks, the first step in treating yourself, permission. The quiet little voice that says, hey, maybe you're allowed to enjoy this life a little. Lena Brooks was about to rediscover that joy, one overpriced latte at a time. Outside, the city was alive in all its chaotic glory. Delivery trucks rumbled down narrow streets. A street musician played saxophone near the corner, the sound bouncing between brick walls. A pigeon strutted across the sidewalk like it paid rent. Lena walked past a mural that read, "Be kind to your grind." She smiled. For once, she wasn't grinding. She was coasting, riding that rare wave between effort and ease. Inside Velvet Bean, the air smelled like roasted espresso beans and possibility. The barista, a guy with neon pink hair and a tattoo that read, "Latte art is self-expression," greeted her. "Hey, haven't seen you in a while," he said. "The usual." "Actually," Lena said, grinning, "make it a large. Extra shot. And one of those chocolate croissants that cost more than my dignity." He laughed, celebrating something. "Yeah," she said. "A small win." He nodded knowingly, as if small wins were the city's real currency. Lena took her drink and found a spot by the window. The world outside moved in its beautiful, noisy rhythm, buses exhaling, couples arguing affectionately over brunch menus, teenagers filming TikToks in the street. She sipped her latte, and for a fleeting moment, everything felt good. The voiceover softened. "You see, treating yourself isn't about extravagance. It's about recognition. It's about saying, hey, I showed up today, and that counts." Somewhere between the deadlines and the dishes, Lena found something most people in this city forget: contentment in the middle of chaos. After her coffee, she wandered downtown. The air had that crisp, slightly metallic Chicago feel, part lake breeze, part skyscraper shadow. She stopped at a used bookstore she always passed but never entered. Inside, it smelled like old paper and nostalgia. A handwritten sign said, "Buy one, get one half off if you promise to actually read them." Lena laughed and picked up a battered copy of The Design of Everyday Things. On impulse, she grabbed a poetry book too, something with a bright yellow cover and the title, Little Victories. "Fitting," she murmured. The narrator smiled. And there it is again, a tiny act of rebellion against burnout. A moment that says, you don't have to earn rest with exhaustion. You can celebrate the climb, even before the summit. By the time she got home, the sun was setting behind the skyline, turning the glass towers into molten gold. The apartment was still messy, the snake plant still droopy, but the air felt lighter. Lena placed her coffee cup and books on the table, kicked off her shoes, and collapsed onto the couch. She opened the poetry book and read the first line aloud. "Celebrate the small things, they're the bricks that build the big ones." She smiled, leaned back, and let the quiet settle in. The narrator spoke softly now, reflective, almost tender. "So here's the truth about small wins: they're not small at all. They're the proof that progress exists in the ordinary. They remind you that you're not just surviving, you're growing." Lena didn't get a promotion today. She didn't conquer the world. She didn't even clean her kitchen. But she finished the thing. She showed up. She treated herself. And in a world that worships hustle, that might just be the most radical act of all. As night fell over Chicago, the hum of the city softened into a lullaby of traffic and laughter. Lena closed her book, turned off her lamp, and whispered, "Good job, me." Outside, a CTA train rumbled past, like the city itself was applauding. And the narrator concluded with a grin you could almost hear. "So, dear listeners, here's your homework. When you get that small win, when you check something off your list, or send that email, or finally fold that laundry mountain, don't brush it off. Don't rush to the next thing. Celebrate it. Treat yourself. Because life's too short to wait for the big victories. And remember, in this crazy city, in this messy world, a good cup of coffee in a quiet moment can feel like a standing ovation. So go ahead, cheers to your small wins." Lena Brooks would approve.
Like and subscribe if you want to be happy and motivate.